I'm Christine. I hope you're having a blessed week so far. We are going to be rolling into some Christmas projects, and these are going to be more along the lines of Rustic Farmhouse. And probably you have a lot of these supplies on hand, so that's what I'm hoping here. So our first one, our supplies are going to be some wooden spools. I've had these for years, and they came from Hobby Lobby or Michael's one. Some acrylic paint, and that is in the color burnt sienna, some jute twine, and some thick thread. Now I chose green, more of the Christmas color, and I'm loving green more this year, but you can certainly choose white, cream colored, whatever color goes with your tree. I am using makeup sponges for all of these projects to put my paint on. Now what that does is it gives me not a complete coverage, but I'm liking that because that goes more along with what I'm looking for in Rustic. Now after I finish coating these real well, I am taking a baby wipe and taking it back off, and that's creating more of a stain look than a paint look. I'm going to start with my thread. Now, I'm not looking to cover the whole thing up. Some of them I covered more with thread, some of them less. I just want these to look like old bobbins, old wooden holders for your threads. So I want them to look used. So I'm just going to use hot glue and then make my rounds around that. And then I'm going to use some tails, leave those hanging off on the end as well, so that it looks like it's something that you're using. Then I'm going to take my jute twine there and cut me a little bit to have a loop to hang these by. And I took some wood glue, and then I do go back and use some hot glue, but I'm just twisting those hangers down in there and then letting those dry. And how easy is that project? But y'all, look at them just styled sitting around. These would be awesome in a vignette, sitting in maybe a basket or hanging from your tree. Let me know what you think about this one. All right, you guys, project 2. And for this one, I am using a little canvas flag I picked up from Hobby Lobby. Everything in the Christmas is 50% off now, if not more this week. But you can certainly make your own by taking some drop cloth and covering a dowel rod. That would be so easy to make. But I'm going to use this one. And I've got a Christmas stencil, and it says Joy, so any Christmas stencil you have. I'm using some red acrylic paint, some burlap ribbon, again the jute twine, some red pick berries, and what I'm going to do is replace the twine that they had as the hanger because I like this jute twine a little bit better than that cream color they had. And I'm going to take my hot glue after I tie my knots, and I'm going to glue both on the knots and onto that dowel rod just to help those stay in place, those hangers there. Then I am going to come in with my burlap ribbon. I'm calling it burlap ribbon. That's my best guess for that. But I am going to cut it down, and I had to cut it down at an angle. I just want it going all through the sides. So I've got the longer sides and then the point there of the flag. So I'm just cutting those to length, and I will angle those off. And then I'm simply going to hot glue those down. Now you can certainly trim out the top if you want to, but I'm going to use some greenery just to cover up where it meets up at the top. And to me, that was fine. If you wanted to use that jute twine to just tie that off a little more, certainly whatever you felt like doing. But just make sure you got those edges kind of overlapped. I'm just running one bead of hot glue to fasten that down, and that's plenty for that lightweight ribbon. And then, like I said, I'm putting the greenery at the points just to kind of cover up where I put heavily, a little more heavily so the hot glue there just to cover that up. Then I'm going to do my stencil with just that red acrylic paint. So all of these crafts today, you do not have to use chalk paint. I am going to use chalk paint here coming up in one of my crafts, but all of these can be done with acrylic paints. Most of us who craft a lot, have been crafting through the years, usually have a lot of acrylic paint on hand. So these are just easier projects to kind of use what you've got and to make these really simple, very budget-friendly home decor that just look so good and look like something other that really could be passed down from generations, truly. So I'm going to do the stencil, and when that dries, I am going to use some pick berries. They have like some berries within the stencil, so I'm going to use some pick berries there and fasten on that greenery as well. And then we're going to consider this project done. You can certainly embellish any of these projects I'm doing that much more, but I'm thinking the rustic farmhouse, you just take everything down a notch. So let me know so far which one you guys like better. We are moving right along, and project number 3. Our supplies is going to be one of those 10 tiles from Dollar Tree, a little wood palette I've had forever in my stash from Dollar Tree. If you can't find those anymore, you can use the wood blanks. It really just doesn't matter. That would work as well. I am going to be using a greenery stem pick. I had picked those up before in the past at Dollar Tree. You get like 10 to a pack. Some more of those red pick berries. I am using white chalk paint, but again, you can definitely use acrylic paint. I've got my finger sander because these little palette woods are a little bit rough, so I'm just going to smooth that down. Some jute twine. Again, that burnt sienna acrylic paint. What I'm going to do is trace out my little palette board so that this 10 tile fits perfectly on it. I took it away from that edge because on these 10 tiles, that's where the glue is, and I'm not really concerned about using that glue. I'm going to hot glue this down to the front of my little palette board. And then I'm going to use some white chalk paint, and again I am using makeup sponges for this because this is so easy. But first of all, I forgot, I'm using that burnt sienna around the edges of the palette wood, and I do the back as well, just so if this ornament turns, it's not just plain wood, it is going to have that same coloring. So all these projects really blend in together very well. So I'm just going around with that around the edges and the back, and then I'm going to hot glue my little 10 tile down. I'm going to take that white chalk paint with a makeup sponge, and I'm going to do a heavy distressing on it. I'm not looking for full coverage again. And then I'm going to go around the edges with that burnt sienna to make it look like this little 10 tile has been weathered. and rusted, so that's what we're going for there. And then I'm just going to take that one little greenery stem. And again, I did pick up a big pack of those at Dollar Tree last year, but I know you can find them at Hobby Lobby as well. We're going to make a little wreath with that because those are perfect for little wreaths. So all you got to do is twist it upon itself. And then I'm going to use some little pit berries in it. Hot glue that down, get me some jute string, twine, and hot glue that down to the back. And how adorable is this one? Let me know what you're thinking so far. Let me know how your week is going. I hope you guys are doing very well. I love this season. I see where people already are decorating. I'm trying to get in that groove. But this Christmas season, y'all, just remember this is all about Christ and love, loving each other, appreciating what we've been blessed with. Those little pick berries, you can hot glue those down into that little wreath. But here, because mine came on a floral, like a floral wire, I'm just going around and twisting it into that. And you can make these little wreaths for, oh my gosh, if you had little birdhouses, you could temporarily put these little wreaths up on your little birdhouse, your little wooden birdhouse for Christmas. That would be so cute. You can use them in the little grapevine wreaths that you get. That would be adorable as well. I did a simple little finger bow with some sisal twine. I'm going to hot glue that down as well. And then, like I said, I'm going to do my hanger. And then that's going to finish us off. And it's so cute, you guys. I appreciate you watching. Keep watching till the end. The last one is my absolute favorite. It was kind of hard to pick because these are all so cute. But the last one is my absolute favorite. So y'all stay tuned for me. All right, project number 4, we're going to make some Christmas trees. Our supply list. Again, that burnt sienna acrylic paint. This little 2-pack of styrofoam. They look like Christmas trees to me. So I picked those up at Hobby Lobby. 2 wooden beads that have the flat side to them. Some yarn. Now you can use your grandma's yarn, hand me down, or this is some yarn that I picked up. It's really pretty from, I believe, Hobby Lobby as well. It's got different shades of green in it and off-white. It's so pretty. So again, I'm using a makeup sponge. I'm going to run that acrylic brown paint over my little beads there, and then I'm wiping it back with a baby wipe. That gives you your stain look. Now my first one, I started at the bottom. Hot glue, styrofoam, they don't like each other, so my tip to you is to work quickly because it will eat down into that styrofoam. I worked from the bottom on the first one, but I did find it easier on the second one to work from the top down. So that's my little tip for you guys. I would go from the top down instead of the bottom up. But I'm just going to go around. I'm not going to show you me wrapping this whole tree because it took a little while. I'm not going to lie. My yarn is not that thick. So it took quite a rose, but you want to make sure you lay as small of a bead of glue as you possibly can. You don't have to do all of it. I wanted to at the bottom just to get a good start, but you don't have to glue the whole thing. You can see me wrapping here, and then I'm going to go and put my glue ever so often, but just make it tight as you can. Another option would be if you wanted to try to paint that styrofoam, just in case you had some spaces. But if you wrap it tight, you're good to go. So we're going to wrap all the way to the top. And my bead's not quite as large as the top. So I did have to wrap a little bit at the top and secure it down. And then what I'm going to do is just hot glue that little bead to each of the trees, one to each tree. And then I'm going to come back because we need a way to hang it, and I do not want to put any kind of twine around the top of that bead. I don't want to loosen it up. So I just take my scissors, stab them down into the styrofoam at the very top, and then I'm going to put some hot glue in there. Take my jute twine, make me a little loop for my little hook, and then I take my scissors and work that down into where I put that hot glue, and you can certainly use some more hot glue to secure it. Now on my second tree, I did have a little wooden base in my stash, and I had painted it gold. I don't even know what I used it for, but my second tree does have a little tree base to it. The other one does not, so it's whatever your preference. Doesn't really matter, but I thought one would look cute with a little tree base. So if you have any of those little tree stumps from Hobby Lobby or Michael's or Joanna's might have some, or from Dollar Tree, because I know I've bought a lot of little, and I'm about running out of those, and I got to go find me some more. But they had those on hand a couple of years ago, I know. But those would look really cute as a tree base. But like I said, that is optional. But these are done. So how quick and easy was that one? And already our very last project. Y'all, these little spindles are left over from my chair repurpose into a stool that I showed you. I did not want to waste those little spindles. So, you need something a little tinier than what I can usually find for chairs. So you're going to use the spindles, some floral picks of your choice, some white acrylic paint, ribbon of your choice, some eye hooks, and I did not show you, but I just simply drilled a hole into the top, used that eye hook, and used some sisal twine to make my little hook to hang it from. Now, all but one, I used the makeup sponge and that white acrylic paint, and then just did a distressed look on top of them and let that dry. I'm not looking for full coverage again. I want that grain of that wood to come out. I'm not going to sand that wood or anything. I'm simply putting this on top. And like I said, you can see the one sitting over there. I left it plain. So whatever your choice is, but I thought it was good to get a little mixture there. I tied the ribbons differently, but on this one I've got some red ribbon, and I decided to make my little loop and pull the ribbon through just for something different. I hot glued down my little floral pieces, put that ribbon underneath, and then I'm just going to use some hot glue so it won't come loose, and then some hot glue to help keep that tail down. I'm not going to cut much length at all off that tail. I actually like it hanging down past the spindle itself. It just adds to it. And then I'm going to dovetail those ends, and then you'll get a good look at all of these different ones here in a minute. But this truly looks like something that my grandmother would have made, or even her great-grandmother. So what a great resource to use. Oh gosh, if you didn't have fake florals on hand, oh, they would have pulled something out of nature, and you certainly could have used those and hot glued those down or glued those down, tied those down to hold them. Hot glue wouldn't have been a thing back then, Christine. But y'all, look how pretty these are. So keep in mind your old Spindles Christmas tree decorations, right? Are you loving it? I am loving it. This is my favorite. Let me know which one is your favorite. Hope you guys have a blessed week. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you've enjoyed this video, if you're not already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button for me. I appreciate it so much.